This week in AI. It's been a wild one. Like every day there's a new headline about some crazy new breakthrough or some multi-billion-dollar deal.
Yeah.
It's honestly a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, it's definitely been a busy week. Even for those of us who follow this stuff closely, it's hard to keep track of it all. But that's what we're here for, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
To cut through the noise and figure out what really matters. So we've got a stack of articles and reports here, a snapshot of this single crazy week in AI, and we're going to try to make sense of it all.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so where do we even begin?
Yeah.
I guess OpenAI is a good place to start. They've been making some interesting moves with ChatGPT. On the one hand, they're giving free users more power, like web access and image capabilities.
Right.
But then they also launched this high-priced Pro version for $200 a month.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to be everything to everyone.
Yeah, it's a fascinating strategy. It seems like they're trying to attract a huge user base with the free tier, while also targeting professionals and businesses who are willing to pay a premium for those advanced features.
But can they really pull it off? I mean, $200 a month is a lot of money.
It is. It'll be interesting to see how many people are willing to shell out that kind of cash, especially when there are already some pretty good free AI tools out there.
And to add another layer of intrigue, OpenAI is getting back into robotics. Remember those videos of robots learning to solve Rubik's Cubes a few years back?
Oh, yeah, those are pretty cool.
Now, it seems like they're ready to take things to the next level. Imagine combining OpenAI's powerful language models with advanced robotics.
The possibilities are mind-boggling. We could see a whole new generation of robots capable of performing complex tasks, interacting with humans in more natural ways, maybe even learning and adapting on their own.
Okay, now that's getting a little too sci-fi for me. Let's shift gears to something a little less apocalyptic. What about Amazon's massive investment in Anthropic?
Yeah, that was a big one. A $4 billion investment. That's not just pocket change.
It's not. It's a clear signal that Amazon is serious about AI,
Yeah.
and they're willing to put their money where their mouth is.
And it's not just about the money. Anthropic will be using AWS chips for their AI development, which could make Amazon the go-to platform for AI in the cloud.
Right. It's a power move, for sure. But it's also interesting that Anthropic is putting so much emphasis on AI safety. They even hired that top safety researcher away from OpenAI.
Yeah, that was a big get for them. It shows that they're not just focused on building the most powerful AI, but also on making sure that it's used responsibly.
So we've got OpenAI and Amazon making big moves. What about some of the smaller players, like Perplexity AI? They're in talks to raise $250 million, and they're partnering with telecom giants to bring their AI-powered search engine to a global audience.
Perplexity is definitely one to watch. They're taking on Google head-on with their approach to search, and they've got some serious backing from some big names in the tech world.
It's pretty clear that AI-powered search is going to be a major battleground in the coming years.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where, instead of sifting through pages of links, you just get a concise AI-generated answer to your question.
It would definitely change the way we search for information online. It would be like having a personal research assistant at our fingertips.
But will people actually pay for these premium AI features? Because Meta is thinking about launching a paid version of their AI assistant.
That's the big question, right? Everyone loves free stuff, but are we willing to pay for a better AI experience?
And what would a better AI experience even look like? It's still early days, but it's clear that the monetization of AI is going to be a major challenge for these companies.
They need to find a way to balance the desire to make AI accessible to everyone with the need to generate revenue to fund ongoing development.
Okay, before we get too deep into the philosophical implications of AI monetization, let's touch on a few other players. IBM has their new Watson XAI assistants, which are aimed at businesses.
Yeah.
And they're also doing some interesting things with open sourcing AI technology.
Right, and Nvidia continues to be a major force in AI. They're investing in startups across a wide range of sectors with a particular focus on healthcare and data management.
It seems like Nvidia is trying to position themselves as the picks and shovels of the AI gold rush.
That's a good analogy. They're providing the essential tools and infrastructure that everyone else needs to build and deploy AI applications.
So we've got big players, small players, strategic partnerships, and mind-blowing technology. It's hard to believe this is just 1 week in the world of AI.
And we're just getting started. We haven't even touched on all the exciting stuff that came out of AWS reinvent this week.
Oh yeah, reinvent. It was like an AI explosion. We'll have to dive into that next.
Definitely. There's a lot to unpack there. Okay, so AWS reinvent, right? It was a whirlwind of announcements, partnerships, new products. It was hard to keep up.
It really was. But one thing that stood out was that collaboration between Nvidia and AWS. They're like the power couple of AI right now.
Yeah, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. So what caught your eye?
Well, for starters, those Nvidia neural interface models, NIMs, they're supposed to make AI in the cloud way faster and more efficient.
Yeah, NIMs are a big deal. They're designed to optimize the performance of AI models running on AWS infrastructure, which means faster training times, lower costs, and ultimately more powerful AI applications.
Okay, so faster and cheaper.
Hmm.
Got it. But what about those BioNeMo AI blueprints? They're claiming like a 12x speed increase for AI inference. That sounds impressive, but I'm not sure I fully understand what it means.
So AI inference is basically the process of using a trained AI model to make predictions or generate outputs. So a 12x speed increase means that you can get results from your AI models 12 times faster, which is huge for fields like drug discovery, where time is of the essence.
Oh, I see. So instead of waiting weeks or months for results, researchers could get insights in a matter of days or even hours.
Exactly. That's the kind of breakthrough that could really accelerate progress in a lot of different fields. And to support all this increased AI activity, AWS is launching liquid-cooled data centers specifically designed for NVIDIA's Blackwell platform.
Liquid-cooled data centers. That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It does, doesn't it? But it makes sense. When you think about it, AI requires massive amounts of computing power, which generates a lot of heat. So liquid cooling is a more efficient way to keep those systems running smoothly.
So it's not just about the algorithms anymore. It's about the hardware, the infrastructure, the whole ecosystem that supports AI.
Exactly. And speaking of groundbreaking advancements, Google DeepMind unveiled AlphaQubit at reinvent.
AlphaQubit. Now that's one I remember reading about.
Yeah.
It's supposed to make quantum computers more reliable, right?
Right. AlphaQubit is an AI-based decoder that's designed to improve error correction in quantum computing, which is a huge challenge in the field.
Because quantum computers are still super delicate and prone to errors.
Exactly. So AlphaQubit is a big step towards making quantum computers more practical and useful for real-world problems.
Wow, this is all incredibly exciting, but honestly a little overwhelming too. There's so much happening in AI right now, it's hard to wrap your head around it all.
I know what you mean. But that's also what makes it so fascinating. AI is evolving at such a rapid pace. It's like every week there's a new breakthrough or a new application that pushes the boundaries of what's possible.
And it's not just about the technology itself. It's about the impact AI is having on society, on the way we live and work and interact with the world.
Absolutely. AI is raising all sorts of ethical and societal questions that we need to grapple with. Like, how do we ensure that AI is used for good and not for harm? How do we prevent bias from creeping into AI systems? How do we prepare for a future where AI is increasingly integrated into our lives?
Those are big questions, and I don't think anyone has all the answers yet, but I think it's important to have these conversations now before it's too late.
I agree. We need to be proactive in shaping the future of AI, rather than just reacting to whatever comes our way.
So what can we do? As individuals, as a society? How can we ensure that AI is used responsibly and ethically?
Well, for starters, I think it's important to stay informed about what's happening in the field of AI. To read articles, watch documentaries, attend conferences. There are a lot of resources out there.
Right. And to be critical thinkers. To question the assumptions that are being made about AI. To challenge the hype and the fear-mongering.
Exactly. We need to be able to separate fact from fiction and to think critically about the potential benefits and risks of AI.
And to demand transparency from the companies and organizations that are developing and deploying AI systems.
Absolutely. We need to know how these systems work, how they're being used, and what safeguards are in place to prevent misuse.
So it's not just about being passive consumers of AI technology. It's about being active participants in shaping its development and deployment.
Exactly. AI is not some magical force that's beyond our control. It's a tool that we humans have created, and it's up to us to decide how we use it.
I like that. It's a powerful reminder that we're not just along for the ride. We have a say in how this all unfolds.
We do. And that's both exciting and a little daunting. But ultimately, I think it's a good thing, because it means that we have the power to shape the future of AI in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Okay, so we've talked about the technology, the ethics, the societal implications of AI.
Yeah.
But what about the human element? How is AI affecting us on a personal level?
That's a great question. And I think the answer is it depends. For some people, AI is a source of excitement and opportunity. It's a chance to learn new skills, to create new things, to solve problems in new ways.
But for others, AI is a source of anxiety and fear. They worry about losing their jobs to robots. They worry about AI becoming too powerful and uncontrollable.
And those concerns are valid. We need to be honest about the potential downsides of AI, and we need to find ways to mitigate those risks.
Like what? What are some concrete things we can do to prepare for a future where AI is increasingly prevalent?
Well, one thing we can do is focus on developing skills that are uniquely human, skills that are difficult for AI to replicate, like creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence.
Right, because those are the skills that will be in high demand in an AI-powered world.
Exactly. And we can also focus on building stronger communities and relationships, because at the end of the day, it's our connections with each other that make us human.
I like that. It's a reminder that even in a world of robots and algorithms, human connection is still what matters most.
Absolutely. And that's something worth fighting for.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of AI, I think we're left with more questions than answers. But that's okay, right?
Yeah, I think so. Because it means we're still learning, we're still exploring, we're still figuring out what this all means.
And that's what makes it so exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The future of AI is still being written.
Yeah.
And it's up to all of us to decide what that story will be.
Well said. And thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the incredible world of AI. It's been a wild ride, but we're not done yet. We'll be back next week with another exploration of the latest advancements and challenges in this ever-evolving field. Until then, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep imagining the possibilities.
You know, thinking about all the news this week, it really drives home the fact that AI is becoming more than just a bunch of cool tools and algorithms.
Right. It feels like a much bigger shift is happening.
It is. We're moving towards a world where AI is deeply integrated into every aspect of our lives.
So it's not just about automating tasks or making things faster.
It's about changing the way we interact with technology and with the world around us. Think about healthcare, for example. AI is already being used to analyze medical images and predict patient outcomes.
Right, like those AI systems that can detect early signs of cancer or heart disease even before symptoms appear.
Exactly. And in education, AI is helping to personalize learning experiences for students by adapting to their individual needs and learning styles.
It's like having a custom-designed curriculum for every student.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
We can expect to see AI playing an even bigger role in fields like finance, transportation, entertainment, you name it.
It's exciting, but also a little bit scary to think about.
I understand that feeling. It's natural to feel a mix of excitement and apprehension when you're talking about a technology as powerful as AI.
Right, because it's not just about the technology itself. It's about the impact it has on our lives, on our jobs, on our society as a whole.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations now, to think critically about the ethical implications of AI to ensure that it's developed and used responsibly.
So it's not just up to the tech companies and the researchers.
Absolutely. This is a conversation that needs to involve everyone. Policymakers, business leaders, educators, everyday citizens. We all have a stake in shaping the future of AI.
So what can we do as individuals to make sure that AI is used for good?
Well, for starters, stay informed. Read articles, watch documentaries, attend conferences. There are tons of resources out there to help you understand what AI is and how it works.
Right, and be critical thinkers.
Yeah.
Don't believe everything you hear. Question the assumptions that are being made about AI. Challenge the hype and the fear-mongering.
Exactly, and demand transparency from the companies and organizations that are developing and deploying AI systems.
So it's not about being passive consumers of AI technology, but active participants in shaping its development.
Exactly. We need to be engaged in the conversation, and we need to hold those in power accountable.
I like that.
Hmm.
It's a reminder that we're not just along for the ride. We have a say in how this all unfolds.
We do, and that's a powerful thing.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of AI, what's the key takeaway? What should our listeners be thinking about as they go about their day?
I think the most important thing to remember is that AI is not some distant futuristic concept. It's here. It's happening now. And it's going to have a profound impact on our lives.
So we can't afford to ignore it.
Exactly. We need to be paying attention. We need to be asking questions, and we need to be actively involved in shaping the future of AI.
Because the choices we make today will determine what that future looks like.
Precisely. So let's choose wisely.
It's a good reminder that we're all a part of this story that's unfolding, and we can be more than just watching it happen. We can be a part of shaping it.
Well said. Well, to our listener out there, thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you've learned something new, and that you've maybe gotten a new perspective on just how powerful technology can be.
And remember, this is just the start. There's a whole world of information out there, waiting to be explored.
And who knows, maybe someday you'll be the one making those breakthroughs, the one changing the world.
Until then, keep diving deep, stay curious, and never stop. Never stop exploring.
That's it for the deep dive. We'll see
Hmm.
you next time.